તો એટલું જોરદાર છે કે એમના વિશે હું વાત કરું તો એટલી મિનિટો હું તમારા તમે જે સાંભળવા માંગો છો એમની પાસે તે ઓછી થશે, એટલે હું ટૂંકમાં એમનો પરિચય આપી દઉં છું. હું એક ઊંધો પ્રશ્ન કરીશ કે રવિ વાનખેડકરને કેટલા નથી જાણતા? એ આંગળી ઊંચી કરે. આ ઓડિયન્સમાંથી ડૉક્ટર રવિ વાનખેડકરને નહીં જાણનારા હાથ ઊંચા કરે. ઓકે, એટલે મારું ઘણું કાર્ય ઓછું થઈ જાય. યસ સર, તમે આપણે આ મીટિંગ પતી જાય પછી મને મળજો, હું તમને ડિટેલમાં રવિ વિશે જણાવીશ. બે 2018ની સાલમાં ડૉક્ટર રવિ વોઝ ધ નેશનલ પ્રેસિડન્ટ IMA હેડક્વાર્ટર્સના, અને તે વર્ષે આપણે એક રેલી કાઢેલી. ઘણા લોકોને અત્યારે યાદ હશે કે રેલીમાં આપણે રિંગ રોડથી, કદાચ નીતિન વોઝ ધ પ્રેસિડન્ટ ધેન, આઈ ડોન્ટ એક્ઝેક્ટલી રિમેમ્બર, નીતિન ગર્ગ. તો સાહેબ ખાસ ધુલિયાથી આવેલા અને આપણા વાવવાળા ગિરીશ મોદી એમનું ખાસ કામરેજ પર સ્વાગત કરેલું. એમને બી યાદ છે ને અમને બધાને બી યાદ છે. તો એમને બીજા બધા બી એમણે ઘણી બધી એચિવમેન્ટ્સ છે, પણ એમની બાઇકિંગ માટે બી, માઉન્ટેનિયરિંગ, એ બધા બી બહુ જ એમને ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ છે. આજના ટૂંકા સમયગાળામાં આવ્યા તો બી અત્યારે એમનો ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ કેવો છે કે દાંડી જઈ આવ્યો અત્યારે બી, વચ્ચેનો સમય કાઢીને એમના ફેમિલી જોડે. સો હી ઇઝ વેરી ઇન્ટરેસ્ટેડ નોટ ઓનલી ઇન સર્જરી, હી ઇઝ અ બિગ સર્જન ઓફકોર્સ, પણ એમને IMA એમના હૃદયમાં છે. એટલે આપણે એમને સાંભળીએ એમના વિશે. એમનો વિષય છે હોસ્પિટલ્સ ઓફ ધ past, present and future. That's right. Please welcome Dr. Ravi.
Yeah. Good evening. हाँ जी हाँ जी हाँ जी हाँ जी हाँ जी मैं इस पे कर लूँगा. Yes. Thank you, Prashant Bhai, for the kind words. The most learned, respected, lovable chairpersons, Nirmal Bhai, Prashant Bhai. Nice to see you, Nirmal Bhai. Thank you. Welcome all delegates and faculties, and thank you the entire organizing team. The very dapper and affable president and the dynamic and dashing secretary, the hero and the don, the organizing chairpersons, and because of whom I am here, Vinod Bhai and Dipti Bain, because of which my wife came, and that is why I could also come here. Thank you, Raju Bhai, for waiting for me. The entire team, in fact. If I start taking names, this being a scientific lecture, I will not indulge in IMA way. But I was told that this is the last session, myself and Mangesh. And you should listen to Mangesh, my younger brother. Because 10 years back I was the HBI secretary, and now just last 2 years back he was the HBI secretary. And already we are late. Since morning you have been hammered. And now nobody of us is in a habit to listen to continuous back-to-back lectures. We never did when we were in medical schools. But this GMC and NMC make us sit here for credit points. So once again, thank you the entire IMA Surat team and the organizing team for a wonderful event. More than 600 registrations, great hospitality as usual. So I thought that Vinod Bhai first told me that yours and Mangesh's lecture will be in the morning session. I was so happy. Everybody is in fresh mind. But then he informed me, no sir, in the evening we have merged two halls and now we will have a better crowd. So I thought physically we may have a better crowd, but whether will they be mentally receptive? So I just prepared one slide that past hospitals right from the Greek god of Asclepius, temples, Middle Ages hospitals, nursing homes, tertiary care hospitals and hospitals of the future. And I said, I think these 3 slides would be much easier for you all to understand. And yes, if you will say yes, then only I will proceed. Otherwise, I will stop my lecture here. So yes, friends, I will be as brief as possible. And I think 30 minutes. Normally, I have been a professor of surgery. I still am in a government medical college. And minimum 45 minutes we are tuned to. So bear with me. And again, being an academician, definition, types of hospitals. Let us skip that. A very short, interesting thing about history of hospitals. Hospitals existed since time immemorial. We all are aware that our profession is the second oldest profession known to mankind. Don't ask me which is the first oldest profession. So, Rajubai is very naughty. So basically, in the dark ages, temples were also doubling as hospitals. And then came medieval age, as late as 15th century, where the state started building hospitals. And hospitals are not only invented or started in the West. If you'll see, even in the history, King Ashoka's time also we had hospitals. Sushruta, Charak also run hospitals. The Arab world, first hospital was in Baghdad, Bimaristan, Bimarokastan, as simple as that. In Sri Lanka there were hospitals, military required hospitals, and then after the 15th and 16th century, what we see today is the concept of modern hospital. In India, in the 17th century, the Portuguese built the first hospital in Goa. And the first hospital by British was built in Madras, the then Madras, now Chennai, which is still functioning today. Again, this is a brief walking through the entire history of hospitals in India. The Mumbai had its own JJ Hospital and Calcutta Medical College, or the Calcutta General Hospital, in early 19th century. They were restricted to only British officers. So Sir Jivraj, Dr. Jivraj Mehta, the then Chief Minister of the combined Bombay province, where Maharashtra and Gujarat were still joined together. Though physically apart, we are still very much joined at our hearts. He started the said GS Hospital, now the KM Medical College, where the entire staff was non-British, Indian. That is why I mentioned it. Friends, before coming to the actual issue of today, hospitals, we need to understand certain things. What is medicine? We all know it's not a pure science like physics, mathematics, biology or chemistry. It is an imperfect science, and we all learned that it is the art of medicine, philosophy is included, humanitarian values are included. Of late, last few years, the commerce and the technology has also come into play in deciding what is medicine, because that affects ultimately running of an hospital. Ethics, I always believe, is the soul of medicine. And this was known right from Socrates to Rockefeller. You can classify hospitals. Again, understanding this is very important. Ownership and control. Because that is going to be the main issue today, and that is happening, resulting in various problems faced by doctor-owned hospitals. Length of stay, daycare units, by the size of hospitals, services offered, who administers it, whether it's a military hospital, it's a naval hospital, it's a general hospital, it's a private hospital. Understand this slide very, very clearly. I am giving this background so that you will understand. What we are discussing, the issues today, are mainly issues of own account enterprise, OAEs. And what do you mean by own account enterprise? Hospitals owned by a single doctor, a doctor couple, a family of doctors, husband, wife, children, or a group of doctors. So the owner is a doctor, very clear. And these are not for-profit organizations. While on the other side, depending on the ownership, is for-profit organizations. Again, I repeat, understand this division very clearly. Once you understand this, you will understand the further issues. For-profit organizations. For-profit means it can be a private limited company, it can be a public limited company, or it can be a LLP, what is called as a limited liability partnership, which is coming to vogue. This all organizations' basic aim, motto, legally, morally, is to earn profit. Here it differentiates from the own account enterprise. Try to understand this. A public limited company or a private limited company, in its memorandum of understanding, has the stated motto that it will earn profit. They are running this enterprise to run profit, while no such motto is with the doctor-owned hospitals. That is the issue. This, I will just run through the statistics because again they form the background. How many hospital beds are there? What are the number of private hospital beds? What are the number of public hospital beds? 75% hospitals are in the private sector. If you calculate the net value of the healthcare delivery system in India, 82% is owned by the private sector. Again, you need to understand the importance of private health sector in the healthcare delivery system of this country. And that is why out of own pocket expenditure, where the patient has to pay or patient has to buy medical service, is the highest in the world. Around 72% people have to pay from their own pocket to get treatment. And that is why, if you see the size of the healthcare industry in India, is nearly 14 lakh crores, growing with a compounded annual growth rate, CAGR, of around 18 to 20%. And what is the profit margin in this sector? It's around operating profit margin of 20 to 22%. And that is the reason why more and more global companies are wanting to enter our healthcare sector. It is not out of charity that they want to start hospitals. Try to understand this. That is why this understanding of the statistics is also important. Money, money, money. That is their aim, and that differentiates us from them. Let us be very clear. And another thing you need to understand that 85% of tertiary and quaternary care centers, these global companies are in tier 1 cities only, where only 8% of population lives. And that is why also now they are started struggling and they are coming into tier 2 cities like Surat, or tier 4 cities like Bardoli, Nasik, Dhule, everywhere. Another important statistics in this entire scenario, why I said that only 8% of the population lives in the tier 1 metros. Small hospitals by definition are less than 30, NABH says less than 50. 85% of private establishments have less than 25 beds. And that is the importance of these small doctor-owned hospitals. So in the nutshell, government deals with only 25%, 20 to 25% of healthcare delivery. 70 to 80% is dealt by the private health sector. And the private health sector consists mainly of small and medium-sized doctor-owned hospitals. All these 2-3 things combined are very important. India spends from its own pocket around 4 to 4.5% of money of the GDP into health sector. Government spends less than 1%. Right from 47 to Amrut Kal today. Not more than 1%. These are official figures. Only once in the 6th plan it went to 1.3%. Government fudges things. They include water, sanitation, everything to inflate the figure. And I will not go into the details, even this 1%, where it goes actually. Not onto the primary healthcare, but into the tertiary healthcare. Countries like Thailand, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh spend much more than us. I am not comparing with the developed countries. Understand this very clearly. Government is not spending on health of these people. We are catering to it. We means the private sector. So 72% comes out of own pocket, OOP. Healthcare expenditure in the share of family budget. If a family spends 10,000 rupees, around 15 to 35% money is spent on medical treatment. Big chunk. If I spend 10,000 rupees per month for a family of 4, at least 1,500 to 3,000 rupees are gone for medical treatment. And that is why every year 3.3% of Indian population is pushed below poverty line due to only medical treatment. Huge figure. These are National Sample Survey 2020 figures. So in the nutshell, government is not spending. Private sector is the most vibrant sector. Out of them, the small and medium-sized doctor-owned hospitals are giving affordable, accessible, accountable, ethical healthcare. That is our friendly neighborhood nursing home. But this sector is into problem. Since ages, as I showed you, the Greeks, the Romans, Indians, Buddhists, everywhere hospital was considered as a temple. Today also we consider is a temple. It's a sanctum sanctorum, where our patient is our God. So, hospitals, the first aim of the hospital is do no harm. We all learn ethics, that whatever treatment we give, it should not cause harm if it is not causing benefit. But the problem today is that the government policies are making the hospitals itself sick. That is the issue. The problematic laws, around 73 laws, Consumer Protection Act, watershed movement in the healthcare delivery system. Once The sacred doctor-patient relationship became a provider, service provider and a consumer relationship. It was a watershed moment. The information explosion, Google Mata, sab kuch aata, everybody is now well empowered. The last evening in the dinner, we were discussing the blatant privatization of medical education. Those all senior people, we all have learnt in, our education was in government medical schools where we hardly paid any fees. So we were bound morally, legally to give back to the society. Now with crores of rupees spent only on medical education, how does the government and society expects that they will give service in free of cost? Multiple regulations, and because of the information explosion, the vertical relationship between a doctor and a patient, God and the follower, now has becoming horizontal. The paternalistic relationship, when doctor could say, I am the doctor, you just have to listen. Today patient knows everything, or he assumes that he knows everything, and now the relation is horizontal, where he has become an equal partner in his own treatment. Insurance model, Mangesh is going to talk. Mixopathy, again a big threat. Violence, we all know. Corporatization, I will be dealing these topics in very brief in the coming slides. And technological advances, I was very happy when in the afternoon somebody spoke on the AI in healthcare. So all these issues, all the small and medium hospitals are on deathbed. IMA itself did a study that around nearly 1,000 small and medium-sized hospitals were closed in Kerala in last 10 years. And if you'll see around also, younger postgraduate super specialists don't want to open any more hospitals. They want to just become employees. Because of all these problems, whenever today also, when a patient comes to my OPD, my chamber, I am always afraid today whether he is going to beat me or whether he is going to sue me. Either two things. So I am worried. That is a fact. Thoda bhi apne ko laga ki if we feel there is a problem, there is a mob, we tend to shunt out that patient. Those who are senior enough do it tactfully. Those who don't know this tact then have more fights. So around 73 laws a hospital has to face. They may be laws related to the establishment itself, to the manpower, to the infrastructure, or regarding the profession. And the worst part is, we feel we are over-regulated, but the authorities feel we are under-regulated. That is a contradiction. They always say, whenever new laws we fight, they say, no, there is no regulation for you people. They are also not aware. And whenever there are more laws, all will breed corruption. It is happening. I am very honest, you people must have also experienced it. In my corporation, rates of labor officer are fixed, rates of fire officer are fixed. In fact, our IMA only unofficially decides that this inspector will come, give him that much money, so that we don't have any problem. So everything is going on as it was going before. Corporatization. We are not against corporates entering the health sector, but remember my previous slides, it's money. It's not good intention to provide only service. And these corporate hospitals, we need them for 5 to 10% of illnesses, we all know. 70% require only primary health care, 20% maybe require secondary health care, and hardly 5 to 10% require tertiary or quaternary health care. But the amount of hospitals coming in, and these hospitals are faceless medical malls. Like I have labeled friendly neighborhood nursing home, where a doctor is responsible for each and everything. Here it is like buying a kilogram of rice from a big mall, or buying it from your neighborhood Kirana store or a Lala store, where if there is any problem, you can change it. Even if you don't have money, Lala will put down and say that after 15 days you pay back me money. Nothing of this can happen in a mall. If a product of mall is bad, you try and return it. You will never able to return it. Same happens. I get everyday phone calls that, sir, our patient is admitted in such big hospital in Mumbai or Pune. I said, okay, what is the problem? No, we just want to know what is the status of patient. That is the big issue. That is why they are faceless. Nobody is exactly responsible. If tomorrow a baby gets admitted with Mangesh's hospital, Mangesh is entirely responsible for it. But if it goes in a neonatal or a big children hospital, nobody is responsible. That is the issue. And we are unfortunately aping. Aping is the right word. We are not copying. We are blindly aping whatever is good in the Western world without really giving a thought what is good for our country, what rules are good for our country, how our sector should be regulated. If tomorrow in Dipti Ben's patient is known, since her family, her mother has been delivered, then now her daughter-in-law has come, she will never ask for advance. Try and get doing it in Bridge Candy. You and me also can't get admitted there. That is the issue. And worst part of this entire story is all the opinion makers, may it be politicians, ministers, or top level bureaucrats, they all get even their basic treatment for in such faceless medical malls. Of course, they don't have to pay, we pay the tax and they pay their bills. So they all feel that the entire healthcare industry is like this only, where a normal delivery in Bridge Candy would cost 2.5 lakh rupees. And that is why they don't understand that no, our friendly neighborhood nursing home would do a delivery in 10,000-15,000 even if there is no money. That is the entire thing. Another issue with corporatization is, remember, own account enterprise and for-profit organization. We are governed by professional ethics. I don't want to go into this recent NMC ethics issue, I can talk 2 hours on it. What about for-profit organization? What ethics are you going to apply to them? They are regular business houses. They are governed not by professional ethics, but by business ethics. That is why they can give full page advertisement, IVF center, trauma center. They can appoint agents. They can solicit patients because they are not governed by professional ethics. They are governed by business ethics. While even my one doctor, small family physician, gives an advertisement regarding Independence Day wishes, he is also prosecuted. This dichotomy, this paradox, who will understand? There should be a level playing field. Either you stop their advertisements, their practices, or allow us also. Allow the small and medium hospitals even to advertise. Assaults, whenever we talk of assaults, we think of physical assaults only. No doubt it's the most burning problem. But the government, the media, the courts, everyone assaults us. So there are administrative assaults, legal assaults, media trials, cyberbullying, blackmailing, all these are assaults on hospitals. Insurance-based model details, of course, Mangesh will tell you, it's a failed model. Worldwide, it is a failed model. USA spends 17% of its GDP on healthcare. 17, where we spend 1%. And they are ranked 9th in the world in all health indices. While Denmark spends 8% and it is ranked number 1. All the Scandinavian 4 countries are 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Because USA has the insurance-based model. It's very simple. Insurance company is for profit. Stated objective. Paisa kamana hai bhai. So how will they earn more money and give more dividends? either by decreasing the rates, so squeezing the hospitals, or denying the claims to the patients. Natural phenomenon because they are for profit. So insurance-based model never can be a successful model. Technology, Sushruta had very high touch, low tech. And today what we are seeing? No touch but high tech. We have to find a balance. Our journey started from family physicians. The golden period maybe of Vinod Bhai, Prashant Bhai. Then to clinicians, maybe our generation. And now younger generation to only service providers. So from healers, where they used to treat holistically, we started treating diseases as doctors. Unfortunately now, hospitals treat investigations. That is the main issue. So this needs to be reversed. We need to have an adequate combination of the science, philosophy and art. Mixopathy is another issue. Quackery, quacks opening hospitals. Mixopathy to now is embedded in all government policies. May it be National Medical Commission, the new education policy, everywhere. Previously we were opposing bridge course. Now there is no bridge. Bridge is between this room to that room, between the modern medicine and the Indian system of medicine. And there was a bridge proposed. We opposed the bridge. But there is no need of bridge now. Those people have come into our house. Yes, by 2030, mark my words, there will be no pure modern medicine doctors in India produced, only hybrid doctors. Defensive medicine, again, advent of Consumer Protection Act led to hospitals practicing defensive medicine. Till the time it was positive defensive medicine, it is okay. But now we are trying to save our skin, leading to negative defensive medicine. Ultimately, we don't suffer. Sufferer is the patient. Whether there is a hidden agenda, why government is against the doctor-owned hospitals? What is the issue? We all know the problems. I am not telling something new. We all are facing it day in, day to day. First thing, yes, money. Money which is there in the healthcare industry. Second, medical devices industry. Huge industry, you can't imagine. Small and medium-sized hospitals don't buy everyday CT scans, MRIs or cath lab machines. Unless and until India has these big hospitals, their medical devices, 80% are imported. They can't survive. And government does not want to spend money on government health infrastructure. As I said, 75 years, not more than 1%. So they want to do backdoor privatization. Even all these government insurance schemes basically are backdoor privatization. Why do they? I never understand. I am attached for last 35 years to a government hospital and a medical school. Government is not giving money to upgrade operation theatre, but it pays through an insurance company to the state insurance scheme to us. Why like this? If you want to really improve the health care delivery system, they should increase the public health funding. So definitely there is a hidden agenda. To sum up, we have financial challenges, overloading, overcrowding, staffing issue, another big issue, infrastructure and technology constraints, supply chain issues, especially in Mofussil areas, regulatory compliances which is really going overboard. We have these all tertiary hospitals now compete with the small and medium sized hospitals. Insurance issues, emergency response and disaster preparedness. COVID really has changed the entire healthcare perspective of the healthcare delivery system, not only in India, worldwide. Patient trust and perception. Now patient also feels that if I go to Wankhedkar's 20-bedded hospital, maybe I will not get that facilities which I will be able to get in a Apollo hospital. This trust deficit is building. Good that Surat doctors attend CME till last, so continuing medical education is not problem. Language and cultural barriers, patient education awareness programs. So many I am just trying to future virtual hospital without a wall. Yes, the day is not far away, friends. Imagine 10 years back, would we have thought that nearly 40% of today's shopping is done online? It is a mall without walls. The technology, the sensors, augmented intelligence is so much improving and growing and changing so rapidly. Everything can be done practically virtually. It is happening. Care delivery. Now the point of care is slowly shifting from the hospitals to either home. You want to do a blood glucose monitoring and seek advice. You are going to a petrol pump, there is a store attached, you get your BSL, everything done. You can send it immediately to your doctor. The doctor will be available to you there virtually and you will get your treatment. So point of care is transforming. Try to understand the future. Digital transformation is aiding it. The technology is so advancing. Sensors and devices connecting, Internet of Things, IoT, now Internet of Medical Things, where everything is connected. The future of hospitals would be a primary care, that is in-home care. The entire primary care probably and the follow-up will shift into the home care. Home care, healthcare delivery is the sunrise sector. Worldwide also and India also. COVID has demonstrated this. COVID has made this change. In COVID we all have experienced telemedicine or whatever name you give, e-health, m-health, mobile health, it has exploded like anything and the acceptance of patients have increased. The trust over it has increased. Polyclinics providing secondary health care, community hospitals, big general hospitals and super hospitals. Largest hospital as of today is in China, 7,000 beds. 7,000 beds in Guangzhou. The designs will also change, I will just try to skip it. Augmented intelligence, somebody has already spoken on this. It promises really a transformational force. It is the next big change. But will it replace doctors? No. Try to take it as a help, freeing us from other details and concentrating more on the patient care. So maybe in the future there will be two groups of doctors, one with AI, one without AI. As simple as that. So the future of us is working side by side with the machines. So what is the solution? Change. See, change is inevitable. We have seen it. Right from a Temple Asclepius hospital to a virtual hospital. If we don't change, we will not survive. Change is inevitable. Whatever good we are there today, if you want to convert it into great, you have to change. So if you do a checklist, how to run a successful hospital, focus on the patient. Patient, patient, patient. 1 to 100, focus on patient. What patient needs. That is very important. You have to analyze. N number of times we never think. We don't have simple feedback things. Big hospitals, they will always ask you feedback. Even you go to the restaurant, the waiter will tell you, sir, review acha likhna mere ko. But if a patient comes to Mangesh's hospital, pediatric hospital, I don't think so you or me have a system where you will ask what were the deficiencies, how did you find the nurse's behavior. It's a very small thing. Whether our treatment was good, what about the cost, learn to it. we need to provide constant training, not to ourselves also, but to the staff also. You have to invest in preventive medicine. You have to plan how much I am investing. What only because my neighborhood surgeon has bought a robotic for 32 crores, I should not buy it. I need to analyze whether I really need it, whether it is going to generate that much patient flow. Use technology. Invest in marketing also. You have to grow your revenue, maintain these margins. Older generation, at least today younger generation is quite, previously I used to see, वो ड्रॉर डॉक्टर ने खोला, पैसा डाल दिया, शाम को गिना भी नहीं, घर पे लेके गए, वो किसी ने बोला बिल भरने का, निकाल के दे दिया, नेवर यूज्ड टू प्लान. बराबर છે સાહેબ? I am finishing, sir.
બરાબર છે એકદમ.
You have to satisfy an increasingly informed patient. Here comes the vertical to horizontal relationship. See, try to understand. Now, the healthcare, the medical and the paramedical education is grown so much. Every family is either connect to a doctor or a minimum paramedical person. Information is available on fingertips. So they know everything. The neurophysician told how a young girl mimicked convulsions. That is because of information explosion. So you can't fool a patient. You need to convince, satisfy all his answers. I always give an example that if I want to buy a new iPhone or a mobile phone, I will inquire on online. We all see on online various models. We ask our children. We go to the shop, see what features, we understand. A mobile of which is a dead object, inanimate object, we throw it after 1 to 2 years. Still we do so much. Then why not a patient should inquire about his life and death? What is the harm if he sees online? I never give an answer to the patient that whether you are a doctor or I am a doctor, why you are asking such foolish questions. He has a right. So we should know how to satisfy. Accountability through accreditation. Some of you may have all the reservations regarding accreditation, NABL, JCO, ISO, whatsoever, but it definitely helps in accountability. Ethics. Very, very important. Again, I am repeating this. They form the cornerstone of doctor-patient relationship. I am not going into the details of ethics, but again, on one side, it was clinical-based medicine, long back, up till now, up to probably Vinod Bhai's era. In my experience of 35 years, I feel that this is appendicitis. No. Today it is evidence-based medicine. But does all the investigative tools in our hand gives the diagnosis? Because medicine is an imperfect science. So we need to find a balance between clinical-based medicine and evidence-based medicine, and here role of ethics is very, very important. And friends, good ethics is a good business. In the long run, your hospital will be profitable if you are an ethical doctor. Ultimately, the trust built over years about that doctor, about that hospital is what pays you back in the long run. It is also safe to be ethical. Always safe. As I said, if I don't want to get beaten, I don't want to get sued, I should play it safe. So your competence needs to be improved, your communication skills need to be improved, your conduct needs to be improved. You have to show compassion. Documentation, documentation, documentation. Nothing more can be emphasized. You have to communicate whatever you are documenting, and you have to document what you are communicating. So it's very, very important to save. That is what I meant when I said safety. You have to update your knowledge, which previously was not there. However, I may blame the medical councils for introducing compulsory credit hours, but definitely it helps. You have to sharpen your axe. No doubt your scientific skills, your soft skills, your communication skills, your social skills, your economical skills. Social skills are also very important. Once you become a social doctor, it becomes very easy that hospitals do have problems. We will have complications. We will have deaths. But if the doctor is social, there will be less complications for that particular hospital as compared to a hospital whose image is bad, whose reputation is bad. And last but not least, most of the solutions will have problems in a strong mother organization, that is Indian Medical Association. We all doctors individually are very strong. Our association is weak. If Nirmal sir has any problem, he knows enough bureaucrats, he knows enough politicians to solve his own problems. But all people coming together and solving the problems of the fraternity at large can be done only on the platform if we are united and make our own mother organization very, very strong. That will solve 90% of our problems. A stronger IMA in turn can help its own members. I always end, not only because now today I visited Dandi, but one of my favorite persons to follow in my life is Bapuji. And we when we talk of ethics and compassion, we should understand that yes, like Bapuji said, earth provides enough for everybody's needs, but it can't provide for anybody's greed. Same is true. We are very happy economically. If I do a appendicectomy in 25,000, I can very well say that it's more than 100% profit for me. Let us accept no other business gives so much profit. So if I don't even take 15,000 from 2 patients out of 10, it is still profit for me. Greed. Avoid that greed. 99% you will be prevented from getting beaten up or getting sued up. If there are any questions, we will take it together, myself and Mangesh. Thank you, friends, for your patience listening. Thank you.
So, friend, it was an excellent lecture by Dr. Ravi. He presented very well the future, past and the present of the hospitals. What I would like to say, I read a book long back written by Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki, and the title of the book is We Want You to Be Rich. And the book written by billionaire and millionaire. Donald Trump is a billionaire and Robert Kiyosaki is a millionaire. The message was the middle class is vanishing. There will be only 2 classes in the society, poor and rich. And both will be dependent on each other. So choose whether you want to be rich or you want to be poor. Rich cannot survive without the poor and poor cannot survive without the rich. Similarly, this is my personal experience about healthcare. There will be only 2 classes, people running the hospitals and people serving as an employee in the hospitals. Now it is the medical fraternity to choose whether he want to work as an employee or he want to become an entrepreneur or owner of the hospital and run the hospital. It will be really very, very difficult for small nursing homes or small hospital less than 25 to 30 beds to survive. The reason being 2 things, very challenging. Number 1 is the HR. It's very, very difficult to get the human resource for small nursing homes because as you rightly said, there are 73 laws which are applicable to all the healthcare providers. There you have to follow the rules of the government. The Minimum Wage Act, all PF, all bonus and everything. For a small nursing home, it is very, very difficult to follow these rules. And second is the way the technology is advancing. Every patient, whether it's in Surat or Badoli or some remote place, Avadang, he expects the treatment which is provided by the developed country to be available at his home. So these are the two things I think it will be very difficult for small hospitals and nursing home to survive. So there will be two things, either you serve the hospitals or you run the hospital. Now you have to choose. You have very rightly said that things are changing fast and it will still keep changing fast. And we have to adjust to the change. Those who will adjust to the change, they will survive. Otherwise, very difficult to survive. This is my personal comment. Thank you very much for your interesting talk. We'll take up the questions later on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.